The Master of Pendulum structure deck was released on December 4th, 2015. This structure deck introduced a handful of powerful new pendulum cards that would help set the stage for the inevitable pendulum pandemonium. In this series, both MBT and myself will be traversing the sands of Yu-Gi-Oh's history. Each episode will take a deep dive into Yu-Gi-Oh's past formats and unlock new strategies as new sets become available. Strap yourselves in because anything is possible. Welcome to the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! If you want 5% off any singles or sealed product, click the affiliate links in the description and use code CIMOOOOO5. And clicking the TCG Player affiliate link before you shop helps support us to provide you with more amazing content.
Okay, I thought we were handing Alex a free W 2 weeks ago with Infernoid, but this time we are really handing him a free W. This is Odd Eyes Magician. After the release of the Magician starter deck, there were two divergent theories on how pendulum decks should be oriented. Should they be built in a way that you were playing a critical mass of pendulum cards and would always therefore have these 4-star material necessary to make powerful Synchro and Xyz plays? Should you do what people feared could possibly happen once they saw the very first generic pendulum monster? Summon a huge main deck boss every single turn and back it up with 1 to 2 pieces of interruption. The latter birthed this, Odd Eyes Magician, and boy is it disgusting to look at. The theory is decent. You can use the newly released Pendulum Call to get both halves of a scale, which enables a really easy pendulum summon of something like a Mist Valley Apex Avian, which unfortunately you have to draw. After that, you can set some number of trap cards, Solemn Scolding, Deep Dark Trap Hole, and Vanity's Emptiness, to prevent your opponent from running over your powerful behemoths. Because you're on so many large monsters, Oath Dragon Magician, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and the aforementioned Bird, you're always going to be able to walk over what your opponent is able to accomplish. And because you're a pendulum deck, you do have access to very powerful staples like Wavering Eyes that can turn the tide in your favor. Unfortunately, in practice, this deck reflected a type of deck building theory that was on the way out. What was powerful a few years ago during wind-up format, loading up on normal summonable monsters like Sabersaurus, setting for and hoping for the best, is now no longer sufficient. Monsters have become so powerful, pendulums have made huge special summon chains so largely available, and answers are so comprehensive that setting a Solemn Scolding and hoping a pendulum summoned Odd Eyes Pendulum Magician will get you there just isn't enough to crack into modern metagame contention. Despite this deck's weaknesses, it was immensely popular, especially at the local and regional scene, which is why I'm excited to be representing it today. During this period, I certainly experimented with a lot of decks that looked a lot like this, to pretty middling results, I'll be honest. So we'll go through the individual monsters. We've got 3 Mist Valley Apex Avian. This is a negate that is recursive every turn. 3 Oath Dragon Magician, 3 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, 3 Perform Pal Skullcrobat Joker. Thank goodness we have this card. 3 Wiz, 3 Pit, 2 MST, 3 Call, a Regeki, a Sacred Sword, triple Upstart Goblin, triple Wavering Eyes, Bottomless Trap Hole, double Breakthrough Skill, Deep Dark Trap Hole, double Solemn Scolding, a Solemn Warning, a Torrential Tribute, and a Vanities in the side. We've got Cyber Dragon, Ghost Ogre, and Snow Rabbit. Heavy Knight of the Flame. The concept here is you can pendulum summon it, then spend your normal on it, and it's basically Construct. 3 copies of Maxi, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Grand Horn of Heaven, and 3 Imperial Iron Wall in the extra. We have a copy of Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon for Cosmo, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, Abyss Dweller, Castel, Diamond Direwolf, Gagaga Cowboy, Mecha Phantom Beast, Dracosack. Of course, we do have access to 7s, so we get to play some fun ones. Norito, the Moral Leader, can be made with 2 Oath Dragons. Big Eye, Utopia Beyond, Odd Eyes Absolutes, Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon, and Red Flare Metal. So, I'll throw you over to Alex, and he'll show you a different take on Pendulum.
So once again, I probably deserved to lose last episode. I could have played better, but honestly, Joseph's deck was kind of cracked, so I don't feel too bad about it. This time around, I think we're going to hopefully be able to get out of the shirt of shame, because I don't want to be on like a 10-loss streak like Joseph was when we first started like hat format, and it looks like things are going that way. But with the release of the brand new structure deck containing the Performage Pals, as you can see, we're inching closer and closer to Pepe, and this is probably like the next incarnation of the Pendulum Magician deck. You've seen how like the Performage Pals have been impacting the meta and making this fantastic rank 4 spam deck. Well, now that we have the Pendulum Magicians, it just continues to get worse. So introducing Performage Pendulum with Brilliant Fusion, I suppose. This deck is disgusting, and I hope to show off why that is in today's episode. So let's do the card by card. So first up, we have 3 Luster Pendulum, which is fantastic for loading up our extra deck, because remember, we are still in Master Rule 3. We don't have Link Monster, so anything in the extra deck, we can just Pendulum Summon out to the field. We have 2 Masked Chameleon, which seems like a sus include, but being able to resurrect anything with 0 defense, and then we can immediately use it for just fodder for anything we want. We do get locked a little bit with this card, but the fact that we just have so many cards that are like 1 card rank 4s in this deck are crazy. But more importantly, it's also just a tuner monster that we can search with King of the Feral Imps that we can Pendulum Summon to the field. So Masked Chameleon has like the weird restriction on it, but you can only have the restriction if you use its effect. So by using King of the Feral Imps to search this, if you have your scales, you can just bring him out regardless, and then that way you can just go from there. Something like Ignister only requires a tuner. It doesn't need a pendulum tuner, it needs a pendulum non-tuner. So that means that Masked Chameleon is fantastic for this job. Of course, of triple maxi, we have the triple damage juggler, 1 hat tricker, and of course we have the trick clown. Then we have some new cards. So Performage Mirror Conductor and Performage Plush Fire. And get used to seeing these cards, because you're going to see these cards a lot in any of these pendulum-based decks. So Mirror Conductor has a handful of effects. Both of them are kind of the same, but it depends on which zone it's in, how it works. So in the scale, once per turn, you can target a face-up special summon monster. Its attack and defense become equal to whatever is lower until the end of the turn. And then its monster effect is similar, except you switch the attack and defense, and then you take 500 damage, which is relevant because then you can bring back something like Trick Clown, which is kind of cool. So Mirror Conductor, it's a low scale. It just does a lot. It's also level 4, very relevant. And then Performage Plush Fire. You can see the band symbol next to this card, and you will see why very shortly. Maybe not in this episode, but once we get to different iterations of this deck, you will see why this card is banned. So this card also has 2 effects. The Pendulum effect says if a Performage monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, special summon this card from your Pendulum zone, then take 500 damage. And the monster effect, more importantly, says if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, that counts if it's in the Pendulum scale, you can special summon a Performage monster from your hand or deck, except another copy of itself. And anytime something special summons from the deck, you know that it is probably broken. So that's it for those. Of course, we have the Trick Clown, as aforementioned. Performapal Part Naga is also something we can search with King of the Feral Imps, which is just a low scale, and also is like an okay card as well, but it's primarily just for scales. Then we have 3 Skullcrabat Joker. Anyone who loves Stratos is going to love this card, because this card is nuts. Skullcrabat Joker on normal summon allows you to add a Performapal, Magician, or Odd Eyes monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of himself. He's 1800 attack, and he searches the entire deck. What more could you ask for? Then we have Wisdom Eye Magician, which this card is also phenomenal. This card was actually a lot stronger in the OCG, I think just because of the way that the sets were released. Wisdom Eye, again, 2 effects. In the Pendulum scale, if a Magician or Performapal card in the other Pendulum zone, you can destroy this card, and if you do, place a Magician Pendulum monster from your deck into your Pendulum zone, except another copy of Wisdom Eye. So again, it's a free material to get into your extra deck, so then you can just Pendulum summon it out. And the monster effect, less used, but still kind of relevant. Discard this card, target a card in your Pendulum zone, whose current Pendulum scale is different from its original. Its Pendulum scale becomes its original until the end of the turn. Then we have Dragon Pulse and Dragon Pit Magician. Dragon Pulse is a 1 and Pit is an 8. Again, we can search these pretty easily. Pulse has a pendulum effect that you can, if you have a Magician card in your other Pendulum zone, discard a Pendulum monster, target a face-up monster, and destroy it. Pit does the same thing except for spells and traps, and they are normal, so they only have something that happens in the Pendulum zone. And then we have 2 copies of Gemnite Garnet, because we need them for the 2 copies of Brilliant Fusion. Now, Brilliant Fusion, if you've never seen this card before, again, another banned card, and for good reason, because this card does it all. So you may not think that from a Gemnite card, but when it's activated, you can special summon a Gemnite from your extra deck by sending the materials from your deck to the graveyard, but change its attack and defense to 0. And if this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. Then once per turn, you can discard a spell. The monster special summoned by this card's effect gains attack and defense equal to its original until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only activate this once per turn. So what you do is you send a copy of Gemnite Garnet as one of the costs for Gemnite Seraphonite, because it requires 1 Gemnite monster and 1 light. You can then send any other light monster. Ideally, you can send something like Trick Clown, which then triggers because it's going to the graveyard, so you get a free summon. You can send Damage Juggler to add this to your hand, or to add something like Hat Tricker or Mirror Conductor. Any other light, it doesn't matter, and you get Seraphonite. And when Seraphonite's on the field during your main phase, you can normal summon or set 1 monster in addition to your normal summon or set. So this allows you to have 2 normal summons in a turn and get you a monster to your field for free that you can then set up to be able to go into your rank 4 plays. Brilliant Fusion is a crazy card, and you're going to be seeing a lot of this moving forward as well. We have 1 Foolish Burial for the Damage Juggler as well as the Trick Clown. Double Instant Fusion because we do have Norden. Haven't yet to summon this card yet, but when this card comes down, it's probably just going to win the game. Triple Upstart and Triple Wavering Eyes because we are in a Pendulum heavy meta, but Wavering Eyes especially is good in our own deck because we can pop our cards like Plush Fire and actually plus off of that instead. So it's good for any of the Pendulum mirror matches as well, just because we have built-in interaction, but the fact that we can use this as like a pseudo starter / extender, Wavering Eyes is absurd, and you're going to see a lot of that as well, just because as long as Pendulum is around before this card gets banned, Wavering Eyes is in almost every deck. The extra consists of Norden, Seraphonite, Double Ignister, a Cyframe Lord Omega, which is also a very strong card, a Dweller, Castel Pleiades, a Emerald, a copy of Diamond Dire, double King of the Feral Imps, a Trapeze, a Diamond, as well as a Ptolemaeus, and the side deck has 2 copies of Denko Sekka, because ideally, if we're going second, we can just drop this and probably just kill him, because so many of our cards that we have are just easy to be summoned out through the Pendulum mechanic, and then we can just OTK from there. We have double Flying Sea for any of the Xyz focus matchups. We have Karen Gorgon in the side in case we have anything that has a lot of targeting. Double Darkhold and Regeki, double MST, double Storm, which is actually not terrible, again, in tandem with something like Plush Fire, double Stygian Dirge, and a Vanity's Emptiness. So this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be the first Pendulum mirror match we've had in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! And it definitely will not be the last with Pepe right around the corner. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not make you wait any longer. It's time to duel. Joseph, I can't catch a break. I remember when I went on that like 10 win streak maybe a few months ago. I feel like that's the position I'm in right now. The modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just not for me, evidently.
10 win streak. It's been 3. Come on, man.
We're on track. We're on track.
Well, I'll tell you what, this one, I think you've got the upper hand because my deck, it's not that great.
I thought I had the upper hand last episode, and maybe even the episodes before that as well, but clearly that wasn't the case. So we'll see. I definitely deserve to be in here the way I've been playing lately. So shout the patron. It is Henrietta Quinones. Thank you for the support. And buddy, you got the hand up for me.
Yes.
I rolled a 4 again, even.
It's a 7. One guess as to why that is.
Shocker. Who would have guessed? You get to go first, so I'm already dead. Good
I
luck,
don't
buddy.
think that that's true.
We're playing pendulums. I'm dead.
Well, I can't attack on the first turn.
Oh, we're not the point where you set up 10 negates and just win the game immediately?
This is kind of the first deck that does that. It does need to get a better hand than this one, though. Wow. Ooh, I really just wish that the fine people at home could see this hand. Okay. We are going to activate Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon. We are going to proceed to the end phase. I'm going to grab a... Yeah, I'm not happy about it neither. I'm going to grab a Performapal Skullcrabat Joker to my hand, and back to you.
Okay, you can't do that because it has to search a Pendulum monster with 1,500 or less attack.
I am going to grab a Wisdom Eye Magician from my deck to my hand.
Okay, there you go. That one works. All right, I'll draw. Stand by main. I opened a little bit better. I'll start with Brilliant Fusion.
I'll start with MST.
You're an asshole. You can't let me have anything, can you?
Well, I think you're about to have a free game win.
Am I? Can I act? Maybe, actually. No.
Yeah. Hey, what am I?
Sure. Let's try it. I'm going to scale Dragon Pulse Magician and Performage Plush Fire. This guy is around now. Aren't you happy about that? Pendulum Summon. Garnet, Trick Clown, Damage Juggler.
Was that a legal activation of Brilliant Fusion?
Yes, it was a legal activation. I played 2 Garnets.
No!
Yes. If you could believe, I'll show you. If you don't believe me, I will show you it was a legal activation. Hold on.
Rewarded.
If there's not a second Garnet, I'm gonna look real dumb. Ha! Take that, you idiot.
All right, okay.
I was convinced. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have 2, because we looked at so many lists. I actually wasn't certain, but okay. So now, can I kill you? Probably. Let's see. So I have Trapeze Magician online, which is pretty good, but I still need a little bit more damage than that, unfortunately. So let's see if we can get there. Let's go. Does this get me the extension I need? I think it might. Oh, this is easy. I'm thinking I already normal summoned. Okay. All right, so we're just going to overlay Trick Clown and the Garnet for King of the Feral Imps.
Yes.
We're going to detach the Clown. We get to add a Reptile. Now, you might think that this deck is playing Gigabyte, but you'd be wrong. We're actually playing a much worse card. We're playing Masked Chameleon.
I am familiar with Masked Chameleon.
We're going to pay for the Trick Clown. we'll take 1,000.
Yeah.
We'll overlay for the good old trapeze.
Yeah.
And we have yet to normal summon, so we can just bring out Mass Chameleon. Detach the juggler on trapeze to target King of the Feral Imps. So that's 46, and then 66, 71, and the Mass Chameleon as well. I can even banish the damage juggler to go get a fucking hat trigger if I want to keep going, but this is lethal. I guess you could potentially have fucking damage juggler, but
I have nothing.
There we go. Okay, that was fucking easy.
Against my better judgment, I'm gonna go first again.
I mean, if I didn't have a way to OTK you, you would have been fine.
Yeah. If only. Let's go upstart.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be a lot harder for that to happen. Sure.
Upstart.
Sure.
Okay. We are going to activate Pendulum Call.
This is a very good card. That's
I'm
fine.
gonna pitch
What are you
Dragon
pitching?
Pit Magician. You're gonna grab 2 Magician monsters.
Look at all these new cards that we get to play with.
We are going to get Wisdom Eye Magician and Dragon Pit Magician.
Sure.
We're gonna scale Dragon Pit and Oath Dragon.
2 and an 8. Ugh.
We're just gonna PS1.
Okay. Maxi.
Yeah, go ahead.
The man thinks he can survive. Okay. Do you have it again, buddy?
I feel like I might be dead regardless. No, that's fine.
Ooh, we actually get to show off Brilliant Fusion? Wow, okay. Well, let's send the Garnet. Thankfully, I didn't draw that because I sided one out. I guess we just up Trick Clown. What else could we do? Damage Juggler. It's kind of cute. Yeah, we'll do Trick Clown. That's fine. In comes Seraphinite.
Yes.
I'll put this in attack, actually. Actually, it starts 0-0. I forgot. We haven't played with this card in a while. I have to discard for it to gain the attack. Am I going to do that? Yeah, fuck it. We'll put it in attack. We'll see what happens.
Sure.
Trick Clown.
Yes.
Thank you for all the upstarts. Truly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and use our extra normal summon gifted to us by Seraphinite to normal summon Skullcrabat Joker.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy normal. Yeah.
Let's get any Performapal, Magician, Pendulum, or Odd Eyes monster. It's very specific, but also lets you get basically any card in your deck, which is ridiculous. I think this does what I really want it to do, but that's okay. We'll go Hat Tricker.
Yeah.
Special Hat Tricker. I will overlay. Let's go Trapeze.
Ugh, this is so bad. I think I have to Scolding here.
Scolding. We're on Scolding? Okay.
We're on a lot of pretty bad cards, I'm going to be honest with you.
Sure. Trapeze is gone. You stopped me there, but you're on 5,000 life points. Okay, so I just win the game now. I will normal damage juggler. I will activate Brilliant Fusion, pitch Dark Hole to make Seraphinite 23.
Yes.
Battle.
Man, this deck is terrible! Oh my god.
I even had instant fusion for Norden.
Yeah,
so
let's run the game
going.
3.
Let's go to game 3. Let's go to game 3. You're doing a good job showing off what this deck can do, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. The thing about this deck is, like, it might even be too good is the problem.
Is that the problem? I see.
Okay.
Well, at least this will be a fast one for the folks at home. Yeah, I'll give it 1,000.
Oh, thank the Lord. Okay.
You have plays?
I have a play. Pendulum Call.
Okay, we saw this last time.
We're going to grab 2 Magician monsters with different names. I'm going to grab Wisdom Eye and Oath Dragon.
Okay.
I'm going to set Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon.
Sure.
Whoop, whoop, end phase.
We've seen this before. Yep.
It's all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. We'll grab Wisdom Eye here.
That's pretty good. Double Wisdom Eye for next turn is actually frightening.
I got to get to next turn.
All right, we'll draw. See if that's the case. Anything to stand by?
No.
I suppose I should ask. All right, main phase 1. You'll be happy to know I did not open Brilliant Fusion.
I am happy.
And I'll tell you what, buddy. My hand is it's a bit worse than last time. Let's just go normal Joker.
Yes.
Activate.
Yes.
I think I'm honestly just going to grab Damage Juggler.
Yes.
Few things I could do, but they all seem kind of shit. I'll just battle 18.
So why could this have not happened in a previous game? Yeah, that's fine.
How I feel the last 3 episodes. Second main. I don't feel like that threatened, honestly. I'll just set one and pass. Go ahead.
Okay. Stand by main. Oath Dragon. Wisdom Eye.
So this is scary because you can pop Wisdom Eye, get in something else. I know you also have another Wisdom Eye in hand. I will Wavering Eyes this.
Oh my god! Wow, that's atrocious. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so you take 5. I get to add any pendulum. Jesus, this card is... Why is this legal?
It's not bad.
We'll take a Luster Pendulum. He seems pretty cool.
He's decent.
Let's grab him. All right, continue.
Oath Dragon. Wisdom Eye. Oath Dragon, target Wisdom Eye.
I kind of just did you a favor, too. Yeah,
exactly. Wisdom Eye.
Yep.
We want what? Just a big honkin' lad. Let's grab Pit.
Sure.
Activate right. Pendulum summon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why did we add Wiz back? I guess it doesn't do anything. I'm just weirded out by how bad Oath Dragon is in a format where you don't have Master Rule 4. Okay, yep. Is this lethal? Maybe. If you have a Magician card in your other Pendulum zone, this is normally supposed to...
You also know I search Damage Juggler.
I know. Okay, unfortunately, I'm not able to use Oath Dragons on field. Or we can only make a 4 here. And the deck is not playing... Why is it not playing the Performage Xyz? Why not?
Because you're not playing the Performages, obviously.
Can you think of maybe another way I would get Spellcasters onto my side of the field?
No, I can't think. This is like the Chimera Tech Dragon all over again.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, don't worry. Chimera Tech is in my extra deck.
For Cosmo?
Oh, yeah.
You want to borrow mine, buddy?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
We'll go... I don't know if I can even force out the Juggler. Not that it does anything. Yeah, let's just go combat here. Okay. Pendulum Dragon.
So Pendulum Dragon does double damage. So this is 7... So to do 14?
Yeah!
Ooh, scary. I'll take 14.
21.
15, 15, 21. So this is 51. This isn't even lethal.
No, it's not.
I'll just take it all. That's fine.
Okay. Second main. Does Abyss Dweller do anything? It does. We'll make Abyss Dweller. All right. Back to you.
Pretty good. I'll draw. No surprise there. Thank you very much. Main 1. I've got a lot of bullshit that I can do. Let's go Scale Luster. Scale Conductor.
This is a 3 and a 5?
Correct.
What does popping this do? Nothing. I will activate Vanity's Emptiness.
Now it's your turn to do this. Isn't it fun? Okay. Well, we can still activate this, so we will. But Mirror Conductor in the extra. Get another Mirror Conductor. Okay, how the fuck do we deal with this? This is a problem. I'm going to scale the conductor.
Yes.
Normal Gem Knight Garnet.
Oh, that's good enough. Yep.
Declare Mirror Conductor. I'm going to make your Dweller 1400. And I will go to battle.
Yes.
Clear it.
What am I taking here? 5?
Could have just done it to your Oath, but Dweller's a bit more of a priority. Second main, now we can do some pen summoning. Kind of iffy about your back row, potentially. You've also got scales, so even if I kill this stuff off... I guess this is the play. We'll Pendulum. Let's go Joker, Conductor, Dragon Pulse, and Masked Chameleon.
Amazing Torrential.
That's gross. Yep. Okay.
Many of those do not go there.
Oh, yeah, that's true. This goes extra. I'm not used to playing the Pendulum deck, so that's my excuse. This goes here. This goes here. And honestly, it does me better that they go in the extra deck, so I can just Pendulum.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I did normal. Not much I can do about that. Dweller actually really hurt because I did have a way to try to pop your back row before committing to the Pendulum, but I had no other way to do so otherwise. So that's it. Go ahead.
All right, I gotta
whiff on the draw,
here?
Please.
I'm
saying whiff on the draw, please.
Oh, I see. I guess we'll Oath Dragon here. Give back Oath Dragon. Who cares? Pendulum Summon 2. Wow. Oath Dragon's Monster Effect.
Oh, you get to summon.
Ah. And I think this beats the Damage Juggler.
It does. It does. You got it.
Oh God.
What a weird set of games.
Weird is a word I would use for it. What a way to end the year, I will say.
Yeah.
I do think there is a fair amount of stuff to talk about as a result of
I
this
think so.
game.
We just weren't able to really show much of that stuff off that we want to talk about.
Yeah, so I think the number one thing that this displays is the divergent kind of strategy that developed as a result of pendulums becoming more mainstream. When pendulums were first revealed, everyone was like, you're going to use this to summon crazy monsters with high star lines that were balanced around having high star lines. You know, a la Junior Journey, all the monsters you can normal are now crazy. Jinzo. And that's the theory behind this deck, which aims to summon Mist Valley Apex Avion and get this, like, big, you know, unstoppable, repeatable monster negate, right? Playing 3 Mist Valley Apex Avion is super bricky because in game 1, I opened 2 of them.
Really?
Yeah,
who would have guessed?
Surprise. So the concept behind this deck is kind of akin to like the way Cleefort would play, right? You play a minimal amount of pendulum monsters, a ton of back row, a ton of cards that get you huge pluses like Pendulum Call, and then you out-advantage your opponent over the course of a long game, which you are always ahead because Odd Eye's Pendulum Dragon clears whatever your monster is normal summoning. This is not how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is played anymore. It just isn't. Like, if this happened in Duelist Alliance, this deck would be crazy, but your deck is a perfect example. We don't care about the main deck monsters anymore, baby. It's all about using these level 4 monsters as playmakers to make unbelievable swings. And for that reason, you know, decks like mine, bricky, slow, get run over by decks like yours. There were both in games 1 and 2. I was like, well, if I get to go to my turn, I do win. There's just a 0% chance of that happening, you know? Yeah. And even in game 2, where I could have performed a Pendulum Summon under the Maxi to put a Dragon Pit in defense position, you're 1 Castell away from just winning the game that way anyway. It's just shocking how radically different Yu-Gi-Oh! Becomes in such a short period of time. This deck that's on, I think, 3 Solemn Scolding, Solemn Warning, Vanity's Emptiness. It's on Bottomless, Deep Dark, Trap Hole, Torrential Tribute as just ways to out what your opponent does for their normal is at odds with the reality of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is the normal no longer matters. We are going to do some special summoning.
Yeah, and I mean, shoutouts to Trapeze Magician because we already knew prior to this episode how strong of a card that was. Yeah. But with the release of the Pendulum structure deck now, we just now have so many level 4 spellcasters to make Trapeze Magician all the more easier, which means OTKing in a deck where traditionally rank 4 focused decks had difficulty OTKing because they just didn't have a way to immediately assemble the 8,000 damage needed to win. It can just now be done with ease between Wisdom Eye and Dragon Pit and Dragon Pulse, and then we also now have Plush Fire in the deck as well.
Plush Fire, Mirror Conductor.
Mirror Conductor is another one. Yeah, the whole deck is just solid, good level 4 spellcasters, and then supported by other good level 4s. The only non-spellcasters you're playing in this whole deck are Mask Chameleon, which is another just problem in and of itself, just because this is just an auto rank 4, or not auto rank 4, excuse me, but it's a myriad of things, as a matter of fact, that's searchable with King of the Fair Limbs, or Luster Pendulum, which just fuels your extra deck to be able to just get for a big Pendulum summon, because this is obviously pre-MR4, where you actually needed Link monsters to spam and vomit your whole hand out of the extra deck. So, as a result of that, being able to OTK is even easier now than ever before. Norden also exists, and Instant Fusion is in this deck at multiple copies. So, like, if you just need another rank 4 in addition to everything else that this deck can do, that's fine. And we also got to see the power of Brilliant Fusion as well. This is a card that is not going to go anywhere anytime soon, because bestowing your deck not only with an additional normal summon, but also with the fact you can load up a Trick Clown immediately to be brought back for free rank 4 fodder, means that Brilliant Fusion is not only basically one of the best starters in the game, it's also an extender and does even way more than that. Just by virtue of everything that I just said, it sort of all culminates in this pre-Pepe list, if you want to call it that, because this is just where the format was already starting to move towards, and then Breakers of Shadow comes out in February of 2016, which is only a few months away at the timeline that we're filming this. Right now, we're in December of 2015. So this is already starting to culminate, right? We're already starting to see the the essence of a tier 0 format beginning to surface, but it isn't until we get to Bosch that it actually gets there.
Two things. Firstly, I mean, Instant Fusion, Luster Pendulum for Ignister, all the Performages. I can't believe someone went, look at all these 4s. I gotta be summoning Odd Eye's Absolute Dragon. That's the best thing we can do in this format. But secondly, I do want to bring attention to one final thing that came up in that very last game, which is how oppressive Wavering Eyes can be in the mirror. This card's crazy.
We haven't had a pendulum
obviously.
mirror the entire time in history of Yu-Gi-Oh!
So because Pendulum was everywhere, you could expect like half your matches were going to be versus it. And if you were playing a Wavering Eyes, games were often decided by you have scales, your opponent has scales, someone is resolving a Wavering Eyes for 4, adding another copy of Wavering Eyes, and functionally Harpy's Feather Dustering their opponent, and also searching like an eccentric for a back row like the Solemn Scolding, or if your opponent's not playing back row, a starter like Luster Pendulum. It is atrocious, and the release of Skullcrabat Joker makes it infinitely more impactful. This card is going to be around for a while.
Yes, and as we slowly just move in towards our Tier 0 Pendulum meta, as we eventually will get to, which you and I have a lot of practicing to do for, buddy.
Yeah, we're taking the holiday season to learn how to do that.
Yeah, Pepe is right around the corner, and there may be another episode or two we can squeeze out before that, but I mean, this is like, this is what you'd see before then, and then it only gets worse. This deck is already basically one of, if not one of, like the strongest deck of the format at this time. And then Bosch comes and it just completely ruins it all because it just takes it to the extreme.
So guys, that's going to wrap it up for another video. I really hope you all enjoyed. Let's go ahead and shout out the patrons for all of their continued support. So shout out to Shadow1317, Tim00x3, Moto, MBT Play Madolce, Cameron Smith, Pony Stark, Part 2, The Synchro Guide, Dan Manhoben, Phoenix the Immortal, Dixon Yamada, Draconic, Jordan Coons, Iron Bladesman, Jesse Wood, Chris Hood, Valen Jackson, Little Fadeleaf, Dylan Hunter, Cody Brett's Extremely Vulgar Man, Brody Eastwood, Carlos DT, Flannel Daddy, Hornet, Indian Taisho, thanks for the sleeves, Dad, Max, Matthew Brady, Twinkle Muncher, Dalton, Luabon, Yodabon. I've tried reading cards before, it was horrible, and my guinea pigs had to give me therapy. Helios515, Simo's Chaos Cooking Draft, Cheeks McLapperty, Stolfin Amethyst, Nim Noodle, Malabranch of the Burning Tunnels, Wonder Waffle, MBT canceled by all community soon, canceled by all committee soon, canceled by all players soon, Sakura-san, Shrugzix, the Crystal Beast Enthusiast, ITF, Corvain, and True Dragon Gaming. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next time.